Well, the Big Island, Maui, and Molokai and Oahu saw damage from last week's tsunami, the worst in Kailua Kona. County officials estimate damage cost at $500,000 for Ali'i Drive alone. Businesses and residents can apply for federal help. And joining us this morning is Tim Manning, the FEMA Deputy Director for the National Preparation. Now, Tim, you're here ahead of the crews that are going to be taking a look at some of the damage. What are they going to be? When are they going to be here, and what are they going to be looking at?
FEMA has a team coming in early this week to meet with Governor Abercrombie's people, and we'll be looking at the damage throughout the islands, assessing the impacts from the tsunami, any damage that might be eligible for federal assistance.
And we keep talking about federal assistance, but there's a threshold that has to be met in order to get that federal assistance. What levels of damage do we have to reach? Is it just cumulative, or is it by county? How does it work?
We'll be looking at damage county by county. There is a threshold that has to be met, cumulative threshold of damage to public infrastructure, as well as damage to homes and businesses. We'll be assessing that damage. We'll come to a decision with Governor Abercrombie, and then he will make the determination whether to request federal assistance.
And then if we do reach that threshold, what do businesses, residents, what do they need to do to help speed up the process or apply?
A disaster declaration by the President and a request of a governor could bring things like low-interest loans for businesses and homeowners if they qualify, grants to help with the removal of debris from public spaces, and the assistance in rebuilding public infrastructure where damaged.
I know we're talking about after the fact, but this is also a good time to remind people to be prepared for the next emergency, next disaster, whatever it may be. If you're a homeowner, to make sure you have important papers and documentation, and same for businesses. What else can people do to be prepared in case something like this happens?
Now is the time to prepare for the next disaster. Things like we saw last week with the tsunami in Japan, there was some warning that a tsunami may be coming to the islands, but that's not always the case. What we saw in American Samoa in 2009 was an earthquake much nearer to shore with no warning. Now is the time to take steps to understand the risk that you're faced with at your home, have a plan of what to do. If you're near shore when an earthquake happens, run uphill immediately. Don't stop to think about it. Have your papers in hand. Important thing, though, is to have a plan so you can reunify with your family, know where to go and what to do when disaster strikes.